And I need to get more awareness out about this because Oakland County is locking these kids up and charging the parents a whole bunch of money. I was a victim, and it destroys me to this day. Oh my God, you got a huge problem. We need to lock you up for 4 years because that's not extensive. When I was 14 years old, I was locked up and placed into different placements. And because I drank a few times and I had smoked weed with my friends, they made me feel like a straight up drug addict. Like I couldn't control myself. They forced me to admit that I was powerless over my addiction and that my life had become unmanageable. Even though deep down I knew I wasn't addicted. I was self-medicating myself as I was on medications such as Adderall and Xanax. I had a lot of mental issues which led to a misdiagnosis. So for the first 16 years of my life, I was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, bipolar, OCD, PTSD, all that. But when I was 16, they ended up diagnosing me with Asperger's, which is autism. Meanwhile, I was forced to go to AA meetings out in the community. I remember this one girl asking me directly if I thought I was an alcoholic, and I told her yes, but in reality, I had only drank 10 times in my life, maybe. Altogether, I was locked up for 4 years. 4 years. They had the opportunity to educate me about true addiction and what true addiction was. Instead, they just made me feel so messed up. Basically, weed's bad, here's some benzos, take these. They never explained what heroin would do. I never heard nothing about a withdrawal. I feel so let down. They claimed they kept me locked up because I said that I could quit drinking or quit smoking at any point because I truly knew that was truly the case. I wasn't the type of person to drink just because it was around. I drank randomly once in a while. All my friends drank constantly. I didn't drink with them all the time. I didn't even really like to drink. And the fact that I said that I didn't need to drink or smoke, they said I wasn't being honest. And that I'd have to go to a whole nother program for another 8 months because I wasn't being honest. Basically, I had to lie my way through the program. They kept me from May 15th, 2007 to December 15th, 2010. Got locked up when I was 14. I got released when I was 18. I was almost 19. When they released me, I was 18. I moved in with my boyfriend immediately. We got married January 21st, 2011. By February 2011, I tried heroin for the first time. When they released me, I felt like I was completely, reintegrated and, that I could handle addiction because they beat that marijuana was an addiction so bad into my head, which at that point it wasn't for me. It was something that they found out that I did through a drug test, and then they, oh my God, you got a huge problem. We need to lock you up for 4 years because that's not extensive. So less than 60 days after I got out, I sealed my fate and tried heroin. I felt weed wasn't as bad as they were making it out to seem, so maybe heroin wasn't. And then I thought to myself, like, well, my husband's doing heroin. He's been doing heroin for God knows how long, and he's still got a job and got his stuff together. We just got married. We got a house, so I really didn't see it as a problem. I just seen it as another type of weed, basically. Basically, how bad could it really be? Is my main thought. All the juvenile system did was put me away for 4 years for stealing 99-cent eyeliner out of Kmart. And then they kept me with complete criminals, people that taught me how to steal cars. I learned how to hotwire a car at 15 years old because somebody taught me how to do that, and rob banks and, home invasion. And I'm hearing stuff that I did not need to hear at that age. It was giving me great ideas. The crap I learned. And then the worst part about it was I didn't know how to be an adult. The years for me to learn how to be an adult, I was incarcerated. I didn't learn how to be an adult. I basically was a teenager and then got thrown out in the world when I was 18 and I was an adult. I was a 14-year-old adult. And I was completely institutionalized. I could barely function. I couldn't, and not to mention I have Asperger's, so my communication skills are already crap. I used heroin to be able to cope with being free. Used it to cope with day-to-day interactions. Didn't think I would be addicted. Just like I wasn't addicted to weed or alcohol. And some people are, don't get me wrong. I was a kid, so they put it in my brain at that point. And I went through a lot. They had me truly believe I was a straight-up addict since I was 13. Untreated mental illness leads to addiction and self-medication. So basically, Oakland County, Michigan destroyed my life. And I'm not the only one. I put my story up when the pandemic started and they locked up an African-American girl in the pandemic. Now, she had violated her probation. And everybody was going to the courthouse saying that it's because she's black and that's why they're locking her up. No. It's that money. They charged my mom $200K. Charged my dad $200K. Oakland County did the same shit to my dad. My dad was 6 years old. They took him into the same building I was in, A South. It used to be for foster kids. They took him in there and there was a train. My dad said I wanted to play with the train. They told him, well, if you want to play with the train, you got to tell the people you want to stay here and play with the train. My dad said, okay, I'm going to tell him that I want to stay here and play with the train. And then the dude told him not to mention the train. So my dad, at 6 years old, went into the room with these workers and told them that he wanted to stay there and didn't want to be with his family. So my dad them, he's not paying them a damn penny for what they did to him, and then they're going to try to do it to me. My dad had to join the Marines when he was 17 years old to get out. And then he had the same addiction problems, institutionalized. It's amazing. And it's amazing that nobody else has said anything. And if you need more people, if somebody actually sees this and needs more people that were locked up with me for years and years and years and years for little mental problems and making them feel like they have so much more going on than they really do. It's for that money, and I'm so sick of it. They lock kids up for years. If I was an adult, I would have did 30 days in jail and maxed out 90 max and maxed out no probation. They got me for 4 years. How is that even legal? Sitting there with no out date. I'm going to link the whole story of why they locked me up, where, basically I ran through the whole situation, and I'm going to put that link below. And I need to get more awareness out about this because Oakland County is locking these kids up and charging the parents a whole bunch of money. It's ridiculous. And I was a victim, and it destroys me to this day. All that treatment I had, and look how up I am. I'm more than I was before I went in there. And then the years and years and years of being out, I couldn't deal with it. So I did heroin 24/7, became addicted, gave up my kid, gave up everything for drugs because I was uneducated. How is it possible to be uneducated when you are locked up for 4 years in a mental/drug substance abuse program? How do you not know anything about meth and heroin? The only thing I knew was basically I didn't know a damn thing about drugs. How is it possible to be in a facility for all that time and they're trying to prevent you from getting into further drug addiction? They see it as you are a potential person to suffer from the disease of addiction. So we're just going to tell you how you're up and not tell you how other people are messed up and how more messed up you could be. I feel like if I would have known anything about heroin, maybe I would have made a different choice. I knew it was bad, but I knew weed was bad. I knew alcohol was bad. I knew what they were telling me and making me believe, then I knew the truth. It's so messed up. And I was restrained almost on the daily. I got stabbed in the head when I was in there, like fighting people. Like it was not a place for children to be, especially children with misdemeanor charges that are sitting there with children that are about to be put in prison and charged as adults. How is that okay? Because I had a little bit of mental problems that I've had since I was 3 years old. And then because they misdiagnosed me, then they sent me to another program. Oh, we need to figure out about your Asperger's, so we're going to send you to this program. Not home like we promised when you completed the program. We'll send you home. It was never ending. I felt like I was going to go home and then I would complete the program and then something would happen and they dragged me back. And once you're in the juvenile system, or in the system period, you ain't getting out. You know how much money I paid to get my license back? You know how much money I still owe? I got my license, though. I paid all that first. But, there's a whole other situation with Oakland County to this day that I'm not going to talk about. I'm just going to pay them and move on. That's that. But I'm tired of our children being taken away and put in messed up situations. I remember when I was there, I wrote George W. Bush. Sent it to the White House. Like, I bet you they didn't send it. There was mold everywhere. There's black mold in the showers. Like, the food was horrible. I was a vegetarian and they didn't support vegetarians, so guess what? I went hungry. Or ate from the dead salad bar. Y'all starving my little dog, making her eat from the dead salad bar. Yeah, people used to trip out for me because of how I was treated in there for being a vegetarian. And your voice is never heard. I don't know. You're a kid, you're crazy, your voice will never be heard. And I just cannot believe that they removed Grace from a South and put her into a program like they did to me, and the media backed off. Everybody backed off. She's not home with her mother. Where are all you people at that were trying to figure this out? All that media coverage, that's what I needed. And then it disappeared because nobody looked into the full situation of where she actually went. That is the only thing I've seen so far about Oakland County keeping somebody's child like that. Like, I can't believe there's not a million more. They shouldn't be able to just take somebody's child because their child has mental problems or might be drinking with their friends once in a while, experimenting. That's what I was doing. I was experimenting. And they made me feel like I was an addict. I couldn't control it. Should have seen how happy I was when I really couldn't control it. And wondered how they couldn't explain it to me and take it seriously. Like, maybe she isn't addicted. Maybe we need to explain to her. Because they just assumed I knew addiction. I was addicted. And I wasn't. Like, sure as hell addicted now. Thank you for the help. You're supposed to prepare me for the future and couldn't prepare me to be an adult when you had custody of me. There's too much. And then constantly you got girls in there talking crap to you, bashing you. You always got to watch your back because if you don't, you get stabbed in the head. I shouldn't have had to deal with that. I shouldn't have had to have 4 years of my life taken from me because I made a bad choice. There's nothing I could do about it now. But there is something we could do about our future children that they're going to try to get their hands on, take from you, when what they need is their family. You know what, maybe if I went there for a weekend and realized how bad I hated it, maybe I would have straightened up. I never got that chance. They never locked me up and let me out. They locked me up and kept me until they were done with me and they couldn't keep me anymore. because I was an adult. I'm so disgusted with Oakland County, Michigan.